Over 100,000 people were rushed to the emergency room last year due to ATV accidents. Please pay attention to every detail of this video. Speeding, jumping, sliding the back end of the ATV, and abrupt maneuvers lead to accidents and injuries or death. Please read the warning stickers on the ATV. Wear a helmet, gloves, eye protection, pants, and closed-toed shoes. If you're not comfortable with the terrain you'll be riding on, or not comfortable for any other reason, don't ride. Forward momentum will help carry you down steep, rocky hills. Do not overuse the front brake. Your primary brake should be the rear, next to your right foot, for going downhill. Notice how these guys are standing up, using their knees like suspension. This allows them to shift their body weight to counteract with the pitch and tilt of the ATV. It's a smoother and more balanced ride as the ATV climbs, descends, and articulates over obstacles. See how the rider shifts his weight to the left to counteract with the ATV as it rolls over the big rock. The ATV is tilted to the right, so he shifts his weight to the opposite side to maintain a balanced ATV. This person isn't riding properly because she's sitting. Notice how she's getting tossed around. This is hard on the body and very unsafe. This rider is doing it right because she's standing and bending her knees. Watch closely as the rear tire comes off the ground. Had she been sitting, she could have wrecked or been thrown from it. Now you can sit down while you're riding if you're comfortable. Notice how she's still able to lean and shift her weight. See how she shifts her weight to the uphill side and into the turn? She's also leaning forward as she climbs. See how she's scooted up on the seat and her elbows are bent? This allows her to steer without forcing her weight to the outside of a turn. I suggest you practice these techniques first. Only ride at a speed you're comfortable with and on terrain you're comfortable with. Please don't push someone to ride faster or on terrain where they feel unsafe. Don't try to keep up with others or ride above your limit. That can be very dangerous. This is not a sports-style ATV made for racing, so don't try to ride it like one. This is a utility ATV made for trail riding. Be cautious around corners. You could encounter hikers, other vehicles, changing terrain conditions, or wildlife. This sport can be very safe and extremely fun. I've seen riders of all skill levels who didn't pay attention to common sense rules wreck and get injured. As well, I've seen so many inexperienced riders keep themselves in check and tackle the roughest terrain successfully, and they had an amazing day. After gearing up and before you head out on your ride, check that your tires have adequate tread and tire pressure. Make sure there are no leaks anywhere. At a slow pace, check that your brakes are working properly. There are no concerning rattles or noises. Suspension feels good. Steering feels good and is solid and reactive. And make sure your headlights are on. Come to a complete stop before shifting, or you can damage the ATV and be stranded. You have park, reverse, neutral, high, and low. Use high gear most of the time. You can use low gear when going up or down steep hills, or when more torque is needed. Again, come to a complete stop before you do any shifting at all. This is your throttle. You should use the majority of your thumb to maintain smooth throttle control. This is your 4x4 switch. On Polaris it's yellow in color. I advise you leave it in 4-wheel drive. The red switch is your kill and run switch. On Can-Am the green button will start the ATV. On Polaris, you need to turn the key over like starting a car. The yellow button is reverse override, to be used for more power in reverse. I don't advise using it. This is your headlight switch. You have off, low beam, and high beam. Always ride with your lights on. This is your front brake. And over on the right side, next to your right foot, is the rear brake. The rear brake should be used for primary braking. You can add in some front brake for extra slowing and stopping power. When riding, always keep your feet on the footboards. Even if the ATV feels tippy, never try to put a foot on the ground. It can get caught in the rear tire and cause serious injuries. On your gauges, you will have a speedometer, RPM, fuel level, gear indicator, and engine temperature. When riding, always maintain a firm grip on the handlebars. Make sure your left thumb is wrapped around the grip, not over the grip. If you have any questions or concerns whatsoever, please let us know.